Less than a month after 9/11 was my first trip and time spent in New York City. In this IGTV broadcast, we're going to talk about senses as both a leader and an individual. So what I mean by that is, as many of us here today, we can remember where we were on that moment. That's the Pearl Harbor of our generation, as someone put today, the JFK of our generation. It's very memorable, and I can certainly remember where I was, and that trip. And the message is this: on CBS, ABC, NBC, we were all seeing these images, feeling things. And we who were in other geographical regions were limited to the senses that we were exposed to. We could see through the TV image. We could hear through radio broadcasts or audio messages. But it was amazing walking through Manhattan for the first time, less than a month after that, and the other senses that you could pick up on just by being in person. Even being blocks away, seeing a building that's still upright, seemingly having its foundation, yet inside completely full of debris and dust and whatever other qualities and destruction that were inside of there, blocks away. And you could get into the sense of smell. And when we talk about the five senses that us humans have, I think it's very easy for us to rush through the day and not always be cognizant of these senses. They're so natural to us. But in a tragedy of horrific proportions that 9/11 was, it was such a powerful learning lesson for me to be able to be there in person and evaluate and observe and take in these other senses that I wasn't able to view from sitting in my living room in Indiana watching a news broadcast. And so I first want to let everyone know that me personally and the March Leadership Services, having such loved ones in New York, it powerfully affected so many people, and very personal to me and for those that I love and care about. And it's we definitely want to give remembrance to those New Yorkers, to those who had loved ones, to those who had contacts and friends. It's amazing, some of the untold stories of people and their jobs being displaced and going unemployed after that, how it affected the market. We certainly want to give honor to the firefighters and police officers, the volunteers, Mayor Giuliani, everyone who put their heart and soul into it. And what I want to encourage us today as a takeaway is, one, we certainly want to give honor, right? We definitely want to give honor. Second of all, just want to encourage us all to take a moment of silence, if you will, and really allow those senses, to become part of us as humans, and be cognizant and mindful of those senses that we have as humans. It's a great blessing. And the third thing, when we reflect this into a leadership message or an individual message, is the concept of, when we're a leader, it's very important and beneficial for us to step into senses, to be relatable. If we're employing an individual who is a young, let's say, single mother, and dealing with stresses of leaving the office at 5 and getting to her kid's soccer game, or picking them up from after school activities. It's very important for us as leaders to be cognizant of these five senses when leading other people. It's true that we don't lead by feelings and we don't want to follow the roller coaster of emotions, but it's a great gift to be able to use our senses, to be able to feel, to have empathy. And it's such an important quality when we're listening, feeling out a situation, that we can step in someone else's shoes, that we can have empathy, that we can look at things holistically. And there's so many avenues of senses and leadership that we could go into that we won't hear on this message. But the big takeaway here, at least this third component, is I just want to encourage us as leaders and individuals to, somewhat saturate ourselves in these five senses and have that capacity to be mindful of those senses when we're leading other people. That these are real people with real challenges, good days and bad days, stresses at home. And while we can't fix every problem for every human being out there, it's like the old saying, no one cares about how much you know until they know how much you care. And that might be cliche because it's been said a million times, but it's so true. So I just encourage us to, if I had only watched it on the screen and then had never been there and walked the actual streets of Lower Manhattan just weeks afterwards, and took in all these other senses and emotions and observing people and what was going on and structures and buildings, would I have really grasped the magnitude on a personal level that I do now, had I not observed it affecting people that I care about and love. So I just want to encourage us in conclusion here that we have to, as leaders, step inside certain situations, step inside certain modes, so we can understand and take in the full experience, not only of ourselves as a leader, but how it's affecting those around us and what's going on in their world. And that's where we can really create powerful, relatable, sensible leadership. And when it makes sense to a follower, that causes inspiration because it's clicking, it's making sense in their world. And that's where you get great collaboration and connectivity. And that's when you can really perpetuate something to move forward. So I just want to keep you all encouraged. We give honor to all those who honor are due. And if you can take a moment to reach out to someone, pass a thought, a prayer along. God bless you. MLS, we appreciate you.